What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Power of X, where we stop guessing, start testing, and uncover the X factor that unlocks your true potential. So, you probably heard the saying, knowledge is power. But honestly, the more we talk about it, the more we think that that idea may be flawed because knowledge by itself doesn't change anything. And a better way is that application of the knowledge is power. But even that, in terms of DNA testing and training, can fall short, especially when we're talking about personalized health. So today we have access to more information about our biology through our BioCode DNA test, and we can learn how our bodies respond to nutrition and training and recovery, stress, and even predispositions wired within us. So by having access to the information and trying to apply it blindly, personally, are two different things, and we believe that the real power comes from understanding how that knowledge is applied correctly. So there's an art to it. So the power to eat in a way that actually makes you feel better, the power to train in alignment with your body, and the power of making progress that lasts. It's about knowing how to use what you know. So, Joe, dive deeper a little bit in on the knowledge of power and from your perspective as a coach, where some other coaches may go wrong and how our approach is better.
Yeah, well, it's like we've used the analogy of, a chiropractor, an X-ray, someone's back hurts. I mean, we have used this analogy. It's like, yeah, knowledge is power. Okay, yeah, the knowledge is, okay, my back hurts. I need to do something about it. Okay, well, going to a chiropractor and saying, okay, my back hurts, give me an adjustment. Okay, that is applying the knowledge that your back hurts. Okay, let's see if we can fix it. Now, the applying of knowledge only goes so far when you only have so much knowledge that you can look into. All of a sudden, now we have an X-ray of your back. Okay, now we're left up to the interpretation that the chiropractor has on adjustments. Now, does this chiropractor have different information than the other chiropractor because one has access to an X-ray or not? So yeah, I mean, all of that analogy that you just went through makes total sense. And when you look at training, I always tell people, like, stop being stuck in 2005. Were there some fit people in 2005? Absolutely, right? I mean, it's not that we can't do this stuff, but at the same time, if we have access to a lot further information, the applied knowledge can take us so much further, less frustrations, a lot of times significantly less money. And because I mean, everybody always talks about, I don't want to waste time and money. I don't want to waste time and money. Well, then get as much information as you can possibly get, and you will not waste as much time and money. It's just, I mean, everybody is so worried about wasting time and money, and it's just like, then stop guessing. I mean, it's just, if you really truly are frugal, test, get this stuff figured out so you're not wasting time and money, so you can have the knowledge, actually apply it. Because, I mean, again, we can say applied knowledge, and it sounds great, but okay, well, what knowledge are we actually applying? Well, this guy has been doing this for a long time and he's guessing with me just like everybody else. No, we need specific information.
I'm actually going to kind of hop in on this one a little bit. The whole saying, especially back in the day, was basically do more, eat less to lose weight,
Yeah.
right? And a coach, of course, when it comes to a coach and a personal trainer, like a personal trainer is supposed to know how the human body works, what exercises are designed to do what. Nowadays, a lot more coaches are rolling into macros, like trying to get the perfect amount of protein, carbs, fats for people. Well, all of that is knowledge. But here's the thing with a coach, we are humans, and humans typically run off emotions, and life is chaotic. So, yes, we all know the things that we should do. We should wake up in the morning. Who knows? We should meditate. We should do gratitude. We should do those simple things. At the gym, we should get a cardio. But then, hey, life happens and emotions take over. So, when you have a coach, we need to know how to apply the program to get you the results if you do everything correctly, right? But most people it kind of, as a good coach, we're there to give you clarity when you're feeling overwhelmed. We help provide structure when life feels chaotic. We're here to give you accountability when you lose your motivation, because we're human, we're all going to lose motivation. But it's our jobs to help you have habits and to give you, like, help push that discipline so you stay consistent. So then you can apply all your knowledge and actually do the work. So knowledge only works if you're doing the work and you're consistent at doing the work. And a lot of times the work is boring, which then as a coach, then you have to like pep talk on that too, you know? So it is just one of those things, like the application of knowledge is obviously where it's about, and applying it is where people will always fall short because life gets in the way, limiting beliefs, emotion, you know, just life's chaos.
Yeah. Well, I always say, like, my biggest competition, Megan, your biggest competition is the information age.
Oh, AI?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, it's, oh, well, you get somebody on the right path, and all of a sudden some Instagram influencer comes out, oh, no, there's an easier way. There's a quicker way. There's a faster way. And, there's this new secret. And everybody's like, well, man, it sounds good, but it's, yeah, I know, but it's wrong. It just, it's not specific. It's not geared towards your genetic. It's not geared towards your biology. And that's, one of the biggest things that we don't talk about with doing tests like this is the amount of buildup that you'll get in your BS reader. It's one thing, it'll show you what to do, but now look at what it's going to stop you from doing in the future.
Okay, I actually have to touch on this. I know we had our meeting the other day. Um, if someone wants to lose weight, there's many different ways that you can lose weight, right? You can just quit eating.
Yep.
You kind of obviously have to look at like what the coach or even the health provider is presenting you with. Right now, we know the big buzz thing right now is the semaglutides, the GLPs. So yes, if somebody just wanted to become smaller, they could take something like that. But what they're not aware of is the repercussions. And that is something that I feel super passionate about, because if you are drastically cutting your calories and you are not eating, your body is being starved nutrients. You're not only losing fat, but you're losing muscle. So when you do get, and I mean, and you see it in people's faces, like, when they become gaunt. Like I can always tell someone that does Ozempic, typically we call it the Ozempic face. You look at, you can see the Ozempic butt. But if you go like with what we are doing with testing, is we're actually looking at people's body at a cellular level, and we want to deliver a healthy lifestyle where you're actually healthy and you're getting the results that is going to help you, not just short term, but we're talking years down the line. So you're going to be a better parent, you're going to be a better grandparent, because you're going to be healthier and you're not going to be breaking hips and falling and all of that. That's the idea of, with, in my personal opinion, what a great trainer, a great coach, they're not looking at the short-term goal. They want to deliver, they want to change your limiting beliefs. They want to provide you the education. They're going to be there to help you apply it because they actually care about you when you don't even know them, or like you're not even a part of their life 20 years down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that kind of comes down to what industry are we really truly in? We are not in the weight loss industry.
Mm-mm.
And I think a lot of clients have a problem with knowing really truly what they want. Like, I mean, I've been a coach for a long time, and if I were to ask people, what is it that you want? They say, I want to weigh less.
And we've talked on that. Does that mean
it's yeah, I mean,
does that make you happier?
Right. That's not what you want. You want to be healthier. And typically a healthier version is a lighter version of what they are. Mm-hmm. But I mean, and that's kind of these things like, all these businesses are popping up on every corner that can inject you with whatever, but it's like, no, they're in the weight loss business. They got you to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. But are you healthier?
Yeah.
And I think, having that talk, oh, well, you told me, I mean, I can just imagine this conversation, and I never want to have it, and I guarantee I never will, where 10 years from now someone's like, yeah, Joe screwed me up because he got me to lose weight but never warned me what was, like, no, I can sleep well at night knowing I'm never going to have that conversation, versus coming back and saying, well, all you told me was, well, you just wanted to lose weight, so yeah, I got you to lose weight. I know, but you screwed them, and then you screwed their health in the process. But yet, yes, you delivered what they wanted, right? The free market says, well, he wanted to lose weight. No, that's not.
Yeah.
You need to be healthier, right? We don't want you to lose weight at the risk of breaking bones, dying too soon, being totally nutrient void, and all that type of stuff. But that's why on the topic of, right, what is a coach, why hire one? It's half the time people don't know what they want. you know
Well,
Having
and I
said, oh
know,
yeah, I just want to fit into those old jeans. I know, but at what
well,
cost, at what risk?
well, and I know you've been in the bodybuilding world. I was in the bodybuilding world for a short bit, but like I've been training for over 20 years. I hired a coach one time because it was on my bucket list to do a show. He had me eat the exact same 4 or 5 things for 4 months straight. And all of a sudden, I was having issues with my bowels, could not go to the bathroom for the life of me. I ended up, I mean, TMI, but getting like awful hemorrhoids. I got leaky gut. My hair started falling out. I messed up my thyroid all in like a short term of, and this is, I hired a coach. I actually paid money for this. And I remember years after like being like, oh my God, if I could just go back to like how I was before I ever did this show, like, yeah, I stepped on stage, I placed, I did well, but like at the detriment of what? And then honestly, it messed my psyche up so much. I was so confused of what I could eat. I was scared to eat carbs for like, and I'm talking years, so like a great, like, and that's not just like knowledge is power. Like I'm saying, like psychologically, it messed me up and it made me question what I thought I knew. And I'm in the health field.
Right, right. Well, I mean, somebody, again, from an unethical standpoint, you could say, well, you hired that person to put you on stage,
Mm-hmm.
so that person did, well, this is what you do. And it's like, well, but there also has to come that element of, look, I'm not risking your health to do this. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had people, I'm like, maybe life wasn't, set up perfectly for a show. I mean, because there's a lot that goes into show prep, and there's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
that goes into losing weight, and there's, is your job stable? Is your relationship stable? How's your finances, right? How's your health to begin with? Did you do blood work before the show? No, I just want to lose, all these are what I would call like red flags, right? Like if they're not asking you these things ahead of time, it's like these are those things of stay clear. But yet at the same time, again, we have to take responsibility as a consumer and say, well, I emphasized I wanted to lose a bunch of weight. So we also have to take, because I mean, for the most part, you know, most people would sacrifice their health to go fit back into those jeans. And that's a sad thing.
But there's a way that you can lose weight healthy. And like, I mean, obviously, like for us, like the cellular nutrition test,
Yep.
like I mean, hands down, like if I knew I could like do whatever tools I needed to lose the weight, but I knew that my body, as far as my vitamins, minerals, aminos, that those were not getting depleted because each vitamin has a certain role for what it does for your body. So if you're depleted in something, and certain things aren't functioning how they properly can, you can go down a deep rabbit hole and spend tons of money, like even with a functional doctor, when all what you needed was to be adequately sufficient in certain aminos and vitamins and minerals, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's just, and that's where, going back to the entire start of the show of knowledge is power. And it's like, well, yes, I mean, it is, but it's also not. It's applied knowledge. And then, okay, what knowledge are we actually applying, right? Do you really have somebody in your corner
Yeah.
that wants you in the same, in the same position? And if we're not looking at cellular nutrition, if we're not looking at these, you're coming from the entire false pretenses to begin with.
Well, and it is,
If it doesn't start with that, how can you possibly end up in the right position?
and the crazy thing is afterwards, I actually, because I had leaky gut, so I paid money to do a food sensitivity test afterwards. And the crazy aspect of it is those four items that I was eating,
Yeah.
like egg whites, was the highest on what
Oh,
was
that's
causing the
that's
inflammation.
crazy.
Then it was
Wow.
like whey protein was the highest, and then chicken and peanut butter. Like all of these were causing me more inflammation in the bloat, but I
Yeah.
actually created the food sensitivity because I ate the same thing every single day in abundance for a certain period because I never had issues with this stuff before.
Yeah.
So that is the beauty of what testing means is like, oh, then I eliminated that, and then I like added in because even back then I actually did do like a cellular nutrition test
Yeah.
many years ago with a functional doctor. So it cost me a lot, but then but that's what health is, right? But it's great to go to someone who you have in your corner who gives you the knowledge through the tools, and the tools are testing your body
Yeah.
because what works for you does not work for me.
Well, that's where we did have a conversation the other day, and it does come down to, I think coaches need to figure this out, businesses need to figure this out, but as a consumer, the consumer is responsible for the most part of saying, okay, what ultimately is it that you want? Because most of these businesses, if you ask them what business they're in, oh, well, we're in the business of, helping people and right, improving health. And I have to question that because let's just say hypothetically, you can go to any corner in any major city now and go get glutathione, a drip,
Mm-hmm.
right? They will inject you with glutathione. But before they do that, do they check your glutathione levels?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Megan, how many times have you ran tests where somebody was perfectly fine on glutathione?
Actually, a lot.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
No, but it's really good for you. Well, gas is really good for my car. It's really good for it. It is the preferred fuel that I've tried
Yeah.
putting bananas in it and it didn't work, right? I mean,
You're
my,
overflowing the gas tank, just
yes,
pouring like the $4.37
I mean,
on the ground.
it is not an argument that fuel is good and healthy for a combustible engine.
Yeah.
But if it's full, more is not better.
Mm-hmm.
It's a waste. It will spill all over the place. You'll smell. There's side effects. Might get on your pants, and sure as hell, you better not be smoking, right? But I mean, as funny as that is, as dumb as that sounds, that is how I look at that. Well, I needed vitamin C because I heard it's good for me. Yes, you are right. Vitamin C is a great thing for you, but did you run your levels before you got that? Well, no, I just figured it was good.
Well, and even we know with methylated vitamins,
Yeah.
like if you don't
Yeah.
really know your
Yeah.
methylation and you're actually taking a methylated B12, like it can make you actually feel like more wired, like
and I can, right. I mean, obviously, truth be told, it's like, we can joke about this, but this was also me at one point, right?
yeah.
I used to tell people, well, you need a multivitamin. Which one? I don't know. Pick a good one. They're going to be good for you. You need vitamin D because you don't live on the equator. Well, you need this and that because I didn't know, I mean, there's a point where you're naive, meaning, you just don't know. Ignorance is like, but like eventually you get to the point where
it's kind of like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know.
right. And I mean, even again, from my ethical standpoint, I mean, when somebody asks me, should I take glutathione? My answer is I don't know.
Hey, Joe,
Is
should we
it
take turmeric?
I I shouldn't. Maybe yeah, there's my crutch right there is turmeric. But I mean, we have to question that. What business are you in?
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, if I can literally say you need this product without testing you, then you are in the business of making money.
Mm-hmm.
Priority. Now, again, I am not against profit, right? I'm not, I mean, if people want to send me money, I won't turn it down, you know, but at the end of the day, again, the ethical standpoint, when somebody says, what business am I really in? I mean, if you are truly, if you want to claim that you are in the health and wellness and, helping people business, and you're not running tests, then you are not in the business that you're claiming to be in.
Yeah.
You're just not. I mean, if I'm a travel agent and someone says I want to go on vacation and I book them a Alaskan cruise, say here, got you a vacation. They're like, dude, I want to go to the tropics. Well, you told me you wanted to go on vacation. I I would like to do an Alaskan cruise one day. I just figured that's what you wanted. I've got clients that have had fun on Alaskan cruises, right? They saw glaciers and no, but I didn't ask them, where do you want to go? Like, what do I didn't go further into that. I didn't just tell them what was good for
Yeah.
them. We have to look at it. Yes, this can be potentially great for you, but we have to have a basis. And if we're not running, again, this is that applied knowledge.
Absolutely.
Now if I know something is good for me, yeah, that's knowledge, and I can apply it and say, well, glutathione is good for you because it's good for everybody. I mean, I'm not wrong. But the application of that comes down to, well, do you need, and like, are you low in it? I mean, well, well, Joe, I don't have a way of finding that out. So,
I have to actually just tell you right now, the coolest thing, hands down, of what I do and what you do, and, as coaches, is someone comes to you and they have a goal in mind. And typically the goal is weight loss, typically, or, they want to change their physique with how the appearance of what they look like. But most of the time, with the measures that would get you there, they didn't always come out of it with more energy. They didn't always come out of it feeling better, like with applying certain tests. And once someone is working out and they're working out with a full tank, so we'll go back to that gas, but they
yeah.
have a full tank, because if they did do like a methylation test with the cellular nutrition and they're supplemented to what their body needs, do you know how good you feel?
Oh,
Like, you know
absolutely.
how much energy you have? Like, it is mind blowing. So not only are they like getting their results because they have the energy to work out, and then they actually want to work out, and they feel emotionally better to do it. And so it's just like the icing on the cake. Or like people who have battled with, like, they always feel like inflammation no matter what. When you find out what your food sensitivities are with that, I had one gal 7 pounds in 1 week, and like changed her pant sizes just in 1 week. And of course, we know it's not like she just lost fat. She lost a lot of like water retention because of the inflammation that she had going through her body.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
just the most beautiful. So it's like we take the knowledge of what the test says, depending on what her body came back with. And then once you apply that, you got the whole, like, you got it all.
yeah. And that's, and Megan, and I'm sure you've had this, and this is, people tell us what they want. And
Mm-hmm.
it's usually, I want to fit in this pant size. I want to feel better at the pool. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose this stuff. And you're like, okay, like, yes, we can help with that. But then all of a sudden there's a just a change, not a change in direction, but there's a change of awareness that clients get where they're like, man, I did lose 4 inches in my waist, but God, I'm sleeping better. man, I'm just more pleasant to be around, right? Like my kids don't run when I come home because mom's dieting, and I have more energy. I'm more focused at work. And all of a sudden those are the, yeah, hey, I'm excited that you're down in weight. That's awesome. But now all of a sudden they're like, okay, this is different. I want more of that, and it's kind of that steering the course with people to guide them in that direction is where things really start getting fun. But again, if we're just looking at hiring a coach, getting into a program to lose the stubborn belly fat, which again, there's no such thing as stubborn belly fat. But when you're buying into these programs of losing the stubborn belly fat, I'm just God, they're using buzzwords to get you into a program. I mean, literally, it's like, they're literally telling you, if they're using every buzzword imaginable, yeah, don't be upset when your health gets wrecked along the way, because their entire system is built on how much can I get you to lose, and how quickly can I get you to do it, so I can get a before and after picture, so I can market to the next naive person. Like, that is literally what is going on.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing when you're looking at two different programs side by side. One says, look at all these people that lost 20 pounds in 1 month. This is my program. My program loses 20 pounds in 1 month, guaranteed. You're going to do it. You're going to be awesome, and you're going to change your life. Or this program over here says, hey, we're going to run some tests on you. We're going to see where you're at. We're going to get your baseline. Hopefully we can get you to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. And you're like, oh God, that sounds terrible. But it's like the one that sounds really appealing is literally headed over a cliff. I mean, it's like you're literally flooring it and you're heading over a cliff. And the other one screams, this is your entire path to longevity, sustainability, overall health. But God, that just sounds boring. I want that easy button.
Dude, I'm going to
But
tell you,
every
health is
study,
priceless.
every study, every statistic, everything long term says the one that doesn't sound as appealing is the one you should do. But gosh, there's this easy button over here, and it's just
Dude, let's face it, the most successful people have consistency and they do the boring work day in and day out.
yeah, day in and day out.
Success is not exciting.
Right?
Dude,
No,
like
it's not. It's not.
being successful is an exciting feeling.
Right.
That in order to get there and to maintain it, it's the boring work.
Yeah, because people's fallacy comes in as, okay, I just have to lose the 50, and then when I do, then
Yeah.
then I'm going to do everything right. And it's just like, if you don't, it's that, it's no, you have to do everything right in order to get the sustainability in that process. It's that process of going through it. And again, just like the beginning opening line of knowledge, applied knowledge, and then even take that a step further. It's, if we really want sustainability, because nobody ever says this either, right? They always come to me and they're like, well, Joe, I want to lose weight, but I want to do it the right way. I'm like, well, no one's ever said, well, I really am just infatuated with doing it the wrong way. Like, nobody has ever said that, but that's what they do. Like, they do it the wrong way, the quickest, fastest, shortest way possible. And then they never say, I want to lose all this weight and then become a statistic and gain it all back like everybody else does. But, I'm going to do this program for the first 12 weeks. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to lose it all. And then I'm going to reintroduce. And I'm like, no, that is the formula for failure. Like, that is what everybody does when they lose weight and gain it all back. Like, that's exactly what they're saying that they're not going to do, but that's exactly what they do to do it. Versus over here, hey, let's look at your biology. Let's look at where, your baseline. Let's look at where you're at. Let's chart the course of where you're going to be at. And
Well,
let's just get a plan
that is
together.
also though, like anybody could do testing, right? But too much knowledge is overwhelming. So that's where a really good coach comes in. They know
Yep.
how to help you apply that knowledge in doable steps.
Yeah. Yeah. And and I was talking to Parks earlier, like my daughter, good athlete, good runner. A couple years ago, I went and paid a physical therapist to do like a running assessment form type of thing, right? Because if we're gonna do this, let's do this. And there was some imbalances. There were some issues with her hips kind of dipping after a couple times, and right, so he did this big assessment, and then showed her a bunch of stuff to do like corrective exercises and stuff to kind of fix that. Well, of course, she didn't do what he said, and then 2 years later, we do our own assessment. I'm like, I'll be damned. Like all those issues that he said 2 years ago are still there. That's okay. Now you have the knowledge, but we identified it. So it goes away, right? So I identified that I'm low in glutathione, right? So now all of a sudden it's magically going to fill up. Well, no, now we have to go do the steps to go do it. And, that's it. We have finding out what to do is easy. I mean, it is. That's just here. Let's just do an assessment. Let's just figure this out. Doing is a bear, right? Doing all the stuff that we always talk about, it's hard. I mean, let's face it, it is hard. In today's world with distractions and all the different things going on, and sports and kids and phones and leisure time, and I work so hard, but okay, now, oh man, my friend wants me to go do this, and next thing you know, you're like, okay, well, we had a plan to go to the gym 4 days a week, and you made it one. We gave you a meal plan, you followed it, and you caved on Tuesday. Right. Something didn't get prepared. No, I mean, it is hard. I mean, I fully understand that it is hard.
Isn't it funny when you actually do give people like the whole plan and then they're telling you it doesn't work?
Right.
And then you actually start asking questions. And then they're like, well, I mean, that day I didn't.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, yeah. But I thought you followed it.
Yeah. No, this plan works. It. Yeah. No, this plan works. You didn't. You didn't, and that's where, you can dive into what to do, how to do it, but the why. One of my favorite books I've ever read is If How-Tos Were Enough, We Would All Be Skinny, Rich, and Happy. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a book out there for every topic on life on how to do all of this stuff. I mean,
well, there's more self-help books than any kind of other book, but people have how many self-help books, but
yeah,
they don't but I'm guilty of a lot of this
but
too.
You have, and I've read a ton of them, and and I mean, but it's just like, oh, now we have to just go do it, and we have to follow the plan, and we have to have a why, and that's where I think one of the hardest things, from a coaching standpoint, is finding and diving into somebody's why. Being able to, hold them accountable to it. Look, you said this, but you're doing this. Not that I'm coming down on you, but look, why did you hire me? What is it? Right. Having enough guts to call people out on their BS. Mm-hmm. I mean, one, it is an art somewhat, but it's also a place from compassion. And I think a lot of, people in general, especially coaches, and this isn't just this, and I mean, it's every industry. Most people truly just don't care enough about you to help you. I mean, that's, and that's the thing, it's no different. I mean, no, I got this, I got this great. And I'm like a recovering naive dude in this industry. Right. So, I mean, it's not like I've done this perfectly this entire time, but I will say this, and, and step on toes, whatever, but, functional med, right? Oh, it's okay. I'm seeing a functional. Oh, awesome. You're seeing a functional med doctor. Congratulations. Your problems are over. No, that is, well, functional med is completely different than Western medicine or traditional medicine. Traditional medicine just treats the symptoms. Well, so does functional med for the most part.
The coolest aspect I have to say is someone came to me for coaching and went through all their problems. And so I sat and I really wanted to get an understanding of what's going on. And so I kind of told her about a few of our tests, and not just did I tell her about her, I wanted her to because it's not like you're trying to hard push. I just wanted to educate her.
Yeah.
And then it's funny, she came back and she's like, well, I went and saw a new functional doctor and she wants me to do the exact same test.
Yeah.
Which, and I'm like, that is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what? Like, and then me and the functional doctor talked, and like, now we can help develop this
Yeah.
plan. And it's like, and I feel so clearly that, like, I told this guy, I'm like, we got you. Like,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
got you. Like, and you know how good that feels to just like have hope again because they come to you because they want to feel better and have the action plan to go along with it. But we're testing that girl. We're going to get to the problem.
Yeah.
And that is
Absolutely.
a good
Absolutely.
feeling.
Well, and that's what, and I don't want to come down on it, but it's like, okay, so follow me through with this and then we'll wrap up and close. But like, okay, functional med, I'm going to cross the line here. One of the things I like about functional medicine is they are going to dive into hormones,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, where again, I mean, trying to get a doc, like a family practice doctor to run an endocrine panel is like, yeah, good luck, right?
Oh yeah.
So, at least they'll do that. But here's the thing. They're claiming they look at root cause where, you know, Western medicine or, traditional medicine just looks at symptoms. Like, okay, well, dive into that a little further. Well, we're going to run their hormone panel. Okay, well, let's say their hormone panel comes back and they're estrogen dominant. Megan, what's the only course of action that a practical 99% of functional med doctors are going to do if they come back estrogen dominant?
Are they going to give them an estrogen blocker?
They're going to give them an estrogen blocker. Isn't that treating a symptom?
Mm-hmm.
Did that find any root cause whatsoever? No, we're just going to lower your numbers to get back into marginal ranges. Yeah, that's treating the symptom. Congratulations. You did exactly what you said you don't do. You're treating a symptom. What runs hormones? Nutrition, vitamins, minerals, aminos, they run hormones. Well, if we're not looking at where your nutrition levels are, you're not looking at any form of root cause whatsoever. You're
Basically,
literally
you're saying we have the key to the answers. Let's get to the root cause by knowing what your vitamins and your minerals
by
are, and
knowing,
then your body is going
right.
to be sufficiently
and
supplied. Yeah.
that's just, now again, no, I'm not a doctor. No, we're not doctors. But if I'm going to look at fixing hormones, but I'm not looking at nutritional, like if I'm not looking at methylation and nutrition deficiencies, I'm literally going to say we're going to treat a symptom every single time. So again, applied, not what knowledge are we applying? Where are we even beginning from? We have to have the right data. And if we don't have the right data, well, then they're just going to go treat another symptom. Now they might treat the symptom differently instead of giving Percocet or whatever. I don't know what, hey, we're going to give you we're going to treat it with essential oils, or whatever, I mean, yes, they might treat the symptom with a different mechanism, but they're treating a symptom. I will, again, they're still treating a symptom if they're not looking at methylation and cellular nutrition. And if they're, and if they're going to prescribe an anti-inflammatory diet, but they're not going to run something that shows what is actually inflammatory, they are treating a symptom, period, every single time. So again, just like Park said, I mean, again, we could go down rabbit holes all day long. Yes, we need knowledge. Absolutely. Knowledge is power, but not quite. It's only like a fraction of the equation. Now we have to apply it. Okay. What are we applying? What basis are we diagnosing anything? On what basis are we building our entire direction on?
Yeah.
If we're not basing it on individuals' biology, the applied knowledge is still a guess.
Yes.
Parks,
Yeah.
I know you're sitting around hearing us ramble a little bit. What do you got from the outside, listening? Obviously, and this is, I mean, and I don't. Again, I'm coming from the aspect of I did the same thing. I'm not. It's just, but I would like to think I care enough and I'm intelligent enough. I'm not saying I'm highly intelligent. I'm just intelligent enough to figure out that things change. We get access to different information. For me to be the best coach that I can possibly be, I have to stop thinking that I know it all and that that I have the answers and no, but I can find answers. I'm open-minded enough to learn more. I mean, again, there is no possible way that if I went back to when I started my coaching business and I knew now, if I knew then what I know now, I could have helped way more people. And, and it frustrates me that I didn't. Where I think a lot of coaches are out there and they're just like, well, whatever, they paid me. Okay, well, yeah, you just told me what business you're in.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think,
What business are you in?
right. Outside looking in, my biggest thought and what I keep coming back to is that anything worth doing takes effort. It's going to be hard. And in a world of chasing comfort, whether it's, like the easy button of fast food or the easy button of Ozempic, it's like all of those things come with repercussions. And if you really want a true lasting transformation, is doing it the right way. And what does that look like? And well, you could stumble through the dark for a long time trying to figure that out, or we can test and we can
Yeah.
and give you the blueprint.
I had a business mentor of mine years ago tell me, Joe, the fastest shortcut of all time is do it right the first time. That's it. That's a fastest shortcut you'll ever find is just do it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Awesome. If you guys want to have the power to eat in a way that actually makes you feel better and have the power to train in alignment with your body and to make progress that lasts, um, in the description below, we're going to have a link to the BioCode blueprint. This is our um, offer into what it looks like to build a blueprint around your biology, starting with the DNA test. There's a lot of different things that we can go into that are going to help you throughout your journey. So we believe that the DNA test is the best place to start to really dive into what it looks like to start that transformation process. So in the description below, we'll have that link to the BioCode blueprint. Go check it out. And as always, stop guessing, start testing, and let's find your X factor.